So guys, hope y'all are having a great day today, just full of so much positivity and happiness, dude, because trust me, there is not going to be much of that to be found at all in this particular video, because we are going to be talking about quite possibly the worst Call of Duty game of all time, and that of course is none other than Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
This shit!
And well, by the looks of it, it turns out that Black Ops 7 is shaping up to be the biggest flop in franchise history. And I took these two screenshots on launch night, keep in mind, about at midnight. And as you can see, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was peaking at about 84,000 players, which keep in mind that also includes people playing Black Ops 6 and Warzone as well, which Warzone's free to play. And as you can see, Battlefield 6 had over 200,000 concurrent players at the exact same time. So if you need a reference point for just how terrible Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is doing, there you go. And also for further reference, Black Ops 6 actually debuted with over 300,000 concurrent players on Steam. So if the cope is that, oh, well, it was on Game Pass, dude, so everybody just played it there instead, well, Black Ops 6 was also on Game Pass. Black Ops 6 was also on Battle.net, which is another cope that these fucking COD shills love to fucking use at this point. So again, this is a direct comparison, you know, identical market conditions. If anything, there's probably going to be less people playing on Game Pass now, considering how expensive it's gotten compared to just a year ago. But overall, man, this game is turning out to be an absolute and utter disaster for Microsoft and for Activision alike, and rightfully so, man, because this is genuinely the worst Call of Duty game I think I have personally ever played. You know, I thought Modern Warfare 3 was going to take the cake in that regard, but overall, man, I really just can't even think of a single positive thing to say about Black Ops 7. I mean, even with Black Ops 6 and Modern Warfare 3 that I wasn't really a big fan of, I still played both of those games for a few weeks after launch, tried to give them a shot, and eventually just kind of faded out of playing the multiplayer. With Black Ops 7, man, I played 3 campaign missions and about 3 hours of the multiplayer, and I don't even want to fucking touch this shit again, man. Like, I am just done. There is nothing about this game that even remotely interests me in the slightest, and honestly, if you're even remotely on the fence, which I don't know how the hell you would be when shit like this is all over social media.
Might have an answer.
Maybe we can poke this out.
But yeah, if you were even considering buying this game, you know, slap yourself back into reality and do not hit that purchase button, bro. Don't even download this shit if you have it in Goy Pass. Like, this is a genuinely terrible game. And, you know, I think I don't really even need to play any more than what I did, because with Call of Duty, man, what you see is what you get. Your initial first kind of taste of both the campaign and the multiplayer pretty much gonna ring true throughout the rest of it. And I've seen enough of the campaign on Twitter to know it only gets fucking worse from what I experienced. I dipped the fuck out after I got to the first 3-phase Destiny-style boss fight.
You have to help us wake up.
I can't help you, David. I can't help you. Save yourself!
where you shoot a giant fucking plant in Call of Duty single player. And yeah, that's the footage that's in the background right now. That's how over the top ridiculous this shit is. I mean, we'll go ahead and talk about the story, I guess, okay? So the story of Black Ops 7 is essentially you're playing as Mason, you're going to infiltrate this base to find this bioweapon, and long story short, the bioweapon is essentially the Scarecrow serum from Batman Begins. And that is the entire premise of the plot of this particular game. You're trying to track down the bioweapon essentially, and through exposure to the gas, it leads you to these dream-like sequences where you're basically fighting these zombie-like monsters on top of the traditional, you know, grunt enemy types that have way too much fucking body armor, I might add. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to make Call of Duty have bullet sponge enemies by default, but that's been a very common trend in the recent Call of Duty campaigns, because the campaigns, for all intents and purposes, are essentially baby's first Warzone match, and the campaign throughout feels like one of those special events in Warzone rather than an actual traditional linear Call of Duty campaign. And it's just genuinely fucking garbage, man. Like, it's insulting. It feels like a massive waste of time. It literally uses the cope that it's all in your fucking head as an excuse for you to do retarded shit that doesn't make any fucking sense. The story is surface level to the fucking core. The fact that this is supposed to be a sequel to Black Ops 2 is absolutely fucking insulting. And overall, man, I played 3 missions and I had to fucking stop, man. I've powered through every other modern Call of Duty campaign, for better or for worse. Even Modern Warfare 3 has a better campaign and more coherent storyline than whatever the fuck this shit is. Just 3 missions in, man. And just switching gears here, now I'm going to show you this footage of one of the boss fights where you lob giant fucking machetes at Raul Menendez in order to damage him, because dude, it's just so fucking retarded. Who is this for? What the fuck is this game anymore, man? Remember when we had awesome fucking campaigns like the original Modern Warfares, the best Call of Duty campaign of all time, Black Ops 1? I mean, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the Black Ops 2 campaign, it's still infinitely better than this shit, bro. I would even go out on a limb and say that Black Ops 3 has a better campaign than this shit, and that game is notoriously known for having a dog shit campaign. I think the real last Call of Duty campaign we actually got was Infinite Warfare, man. That is the last time it actually felt like we got a genuine, over-the-top, non-stop action, balls to the wall, just, you know, action movie experience style Call of Duty campaign. You know, say what you will about Infinite Warfare as a game itself, but the campaign was absolutely fucking fire in that particular game, especially when you compare it to whatever the fuck this shit is. Nowadays, it's literally just a shitty Warzone light, baby's first Warzone match in order to teach the cattle class of society how to play Warzone so that they can infinitely milk money out of their pockets for the entirety of the game's life cycle through battle passes, microtransactions, and whatever the fuck else they decide to put in the game. Because, dude, these campaigns are absolutely fucking insulting. I don't understand why it takes an entire fucking magazine to kill a singular enemy. On top of that, scattered throughout the campaign missions are these loot boxes that give you Borderlands style weapons that have designated fucking rarities. And then there are upgrade stations throughout the campaign similar to Pack-a-Punch that will raise that particular weapon's rarity, that gives it stat boosts in the campaign as well. I mean, what the fuck even is this shit at this point, guys? Like, I really don't even know what the fuck we're doing here. This is not Call of Duty. This is some bastardized attempt of like a bunch of Indian mobile developers trying to emulate, you know, Call of Duty Mobile. I feel, well, even Call of Duty Mobile, I feel like is more of a classic COD experience than whatever the fuck this is at this point, bro. This feels like a shit tier mobile game, shit out of a Chinese or Indian mobile game studio that's masquerading as a mainline Call of Duty experience while having zero understanding of what the fuck made Call of Duty in the first place, which really, I think, sums up the state of the Western video game industry as a whole, because for the most part, most of the original talent behind the franchise franchises you know and love have long since left many of these studios, leaving skeleton crews behind who try to emulate what made the franchises of the past successful while having no idea, or who are not willing to actually do what's necessary in order to make them successful in the first place, because it's either hijacked by feminist ideologues, diversity hires, or people who have no business running video game studios in the first place. I'm looking at you, Matt Booty. Somehow that guy couldn't even manage to put out one game in the form of Perfect Dark, and somehow he was elevated to the head of not only just Xbox game studios, but also Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and everything that falls under the Microsoft gaming umbrella. Microsoft truly is an organization where you can fail upwards, and Black Ops 7 is the epitome of that mentality and what that type of practice eventually leads to: a complete and total bastardization of what was a once great franchise in the video game industry. And this campaign is just unrecognizable, man. I genuinely could not bring myself to keep fucking playing that dog shit. And on top of it, dude, it's not even a real single player campaign. They call it the co-op campaign inside of the actual game itself, and because of that fact, you literally get kicked for inactivity in the single player, or I'm sorry, co-op campaign, even if you're playing in a private lobby by yourself. I mean, shit, you can't even pause the campaign either. So if you, God forbid, have to step away for more than 3 minutes, you're going to be kicked out of the game. And on top of that, there's no checkpoints in any of these missions. If you die or get kicked for inactivity, you have to restart the mission from the very beginning, dude. On top of that, too, I forgot to even mention, there's no difficulty settings anymore. So if you're one of those people that enjoyed playing the game in Veteran, if you're one of the people who enjoyed running through the game on Recruit and just having a fun game old time, that's no longer an option, man. You just have the default Warzone setting, which I'm guessing emulates Warzone NPCs, again, in order to get players ready to tackle the only mode that Call of Duty seems to give a fuck about at this point. So this campaign is a genuine insult to the Call of Duty player base, and, you know, I'm not even the biggest Black Ops 2 fan, but how fucking dare you, let me get on my Greta Thunberg shit real quick, but how fucking dare you say that this is the sequel to Call of Duty Black Ops 2, a game that is regarded by a large portion of the OG Call of Duty community as the pinnacle of the franchise, and honestly kind of was the beginning of the end for the franchise. If you really want to look back on it, it kind of was the last true Call of Duty game that we got, but it's insane, man. They're nostalgia baiting harder than I could have imagined. You know, Microsoft really is the Disney of gaming at this point, dude. They buy up all the franchises you knew and loved in the past, and they find a way to fuck them up going forward, while milking every little bit of nostalgia bucks that they can on the way down. And this is just yet another example of that. So campaign-wise, I mean, if I'm giving this an independent rating, it's a 0 out of 10, bro. Don't fucking waste your time playing this shit. It is a genuine insult. Even Modern Warfare 3, probably the worst Call of Duty campaign in the franchise, prior to this one that is, had a more coherent plot and felt more purposely put together than whatever the fuck this fucking goy slop is. So yeah, do not fucking play this shit. So I don't really think I need to talk much more about the campaign. It is genuinely that bad and is definitely not worth your time to play. Now, moving on to the multiplayer. What you're going to be witnessing in the background is the culmination of the largest Call of Duty development team in the history of the franchise that somehow still cannot manage to release a PC port of the latest Call of Duty game without major graphical bugs. Now, keep in mind, I am running the most up-to-date version of the NVIDIA drivers, which are specifically made for Call of Duty, which the game directly recommends that you download and install upon first starting the game up. So I did install those, and as a result, this is the result I'm greeted to. And if it's not entirely evident to you what's happening, I don't really know what to tell you, man. It seems like every single time one of these Call of Duty games releases now on this new Modern Warfare 2019 engine onward, the games are just absolutely plagued with visual glitches. In the case case of Black Ops 6 also, I had a visual glitch that was very, very consistent, that anytime I played on a map that had snow, the entire surface of the snow would turn black instead of properly rendering, and it was just a flat black color that was, you know, completely textureless and looked like basically an empty void. So I had graphical issues on Black Ops 6. I have a new computer now, upgraded from a 3090 9900K to now I have a 9800 X3D, as well as an RTX 5090 that absolutely obliterates Battlefield 6 and runs it like a fucking dream. So I know it's not a case of my computer having the problem. It is yet another Call of Duty game having a shitty PC port. And this is just one of the many variations of visual glitches I got, because another visual glitch that I got in the following multiplayer match, no less, presented me with these massive black bars that basically obscured my view and prevented me from seeing more than 5 feet in front of me. So again, it just really speaks to the quality and the overall just AAA goodness you can expect when it comes to the latest and greatest from the Call of Duty franchise, man. Microsoft is really putting their new studio to good use. Let me tell you, man, Game Pass's lineup has never looked fucking stronger. But even if we just talk about the gameplay of the multiplayer here for a minute, I genuinely don't like it. It feels very, very, very cheap to me. It feels like someone took Call of Duty Mobile and tried to adapt it to the console and PC, but did an even shittier job at it. Something really feels off with it. I don't really know what to put my finger on for what the cause of that is, but the movement to me feels very clunky and slow compared to other Call of Duty games, especially in this new Modern Warfare 2019 onward kind of reboot of the franchise. It's definitely the slowest and the clunkiest of the games that's released since Modern Warfare 2019. On top of that, the aiming just kind of feels off. Bullet hit registration feels off as well too. Hip fire feels like there's just something very weird about this game. It feels like there's a gremlin in the machine, so to speak, and I really just can't put my finger on it, but it doesn't feel like Call of Duty. And on top of that, things like the enemy health bars appearing in multiplayer doesn't really help with that fact at all. There's just something very off here that I really can't put my finger on. And even the Call of Duty games I really dislike, like Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 6, both games I really just genuinely didn't enjoy the multiplayer that much on. I at least played those games for about a week or so post-launch, trying to bring myself to like them, because at my heart, I'm still a Call of Duty fan. I just am not a fan of the majority of modern CODs, unfortunately. And Black Ops 7 is definitely earning a spot at the top of that list, because I can't even bring myself to go back to playing it, man. I played it for literally 3 campaign missions, and then I played about 3 or 4 hours of the multiplayer, and I just lost any and all interest in the game entirely. I genuinely have zero desire to reboot it up. I've already uninstalled it from my hard drive on my computer. I have zero intention to go back and play this game whatsoever, you know? Thank God I still had a paid-for Game Pass subscription at the time, because if I had to spend any money on this shit, I feel like I would have been genuinely robbed, dude. But there's nothing here for me. I genuinely did not enjoy the multiplayer. And in the background, too, I forgot to mention, you're going to see now the 3rd consecutive multiplayer match that I was playing in, where I got a combination of not only the first, but also the 2nd visual glitch. So you're going to get like the strobe effect and the black bars combined for, you know, that amazing AAA quality that we can come to expect from Activision and Treyarch in today's day and age. But it really is a sad state of affairs that we find ourselves in at this point, man, because even the worst Call of Duty games, like, you know, Call of Duty Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 4, Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 3, like, even those games, I was able to get like a little bit of fun out of them. I played them for at least, you know, a week or two, maybe a month before I eventually dropped it. But with Black Ops 7, man, one time was all it took, and I genuinely have zero desire to go back to it whatsoever. And that, to me, is a first ever since Call of Duty World War II, which is the only Call of Duty to this day I have never actually played the full retail release of in any capacity. So, yeah, those are really the only 2 games in the franchise, World War II and Black Ops 7, that I just genuinely have zero desire to touch after my initial impressions of the game. So I really don't know what else to say at this point, man. This is a new fucking low for the franchise, and unfortunately I don't really know if it's gonna get better, man. This franchise has been trending downwards heavily in the past 5 years. You know, Modern Warfare Warfare 2 2022. Say what you will about the game, I actually did really enjoy the multiplayer for that. I put in over 1,200 hours playing that game over the course of the year that it was released, and I had a great time with it. You know, I know it's unpopular, dude, but I actually did have some dumb fun with Call of Duty Vanguard. I thought the multiplayer was fun at the very least, and Modern Warfare 2019, despite its dog shit fucking multiplayer maps, I still thought the core gameplay mechanics were fun enough to hold my interest. I mean, shit, even the previous game in the series, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, I put a little over 100 hours into the multiplayer of, so it's not like I can't enjoy a Call of Duty I don't like for the most part. I do enjoy Call of Duty at its core. Like, I find the gameplay loop to be incredibly addictive. I love that signature Call of Duty gunplay, and in the case of Black Ops 7, something really just feels off, and I just genuinely have no desire to go back to it in the slightest. I think this is truly a one-and-done experience for me. Again, I've already uninstalled it from my computer. I genuinely have no desire to go back to it, and I'm really glad that I still had a stacked Game Pass subscription that hadn't expired yet, because I ended up not spending any additional money playing this game whatsoever, which I think is the ideal scenario anyone who finds themselves in an unfortunate enough position to have played the game ends up in. I really don't know what to say, man. Like, is this the new consequence that because Call of Duty lost like $300 million last year launching into Game Pass, the games are just going to get more and more low effort? They're just going to keep creating these slop tier titles just to pad the Game Pass catalog to justify the $30 a month price tag, where you're basically paying $400 a year in order to play garbage tier games that you would probably never want to buy in the first place anyway, which provides you the illusion of saving money in the long run, because it's like, oh my god, dude, I got all these games for free, when actually I paid $30 a month, and if you actually added up all the prices of the games I would have actually bought on my own that I actually was genuinely interested in, it wouldn't even come close to $360. But oh my god, dude, Game Pass is such a heckin' great deal, let me tell you. But I guess this is what we can come to expect, man. Call of Duty and every other franchise is probably going to follow a similar fate. You know, it's truly going to become the Netflix or Disney of gaming, where they just completely prioritize quantity over quality, because they know that people aren't really paying for these games anyway. So in the back of their mind, they're going to be like, oh, well, I didn't pay for it, so why the fuck do I care? And on top of that, there's no incentive for them to actually make a good game at this point, because people aren't going to buy it anyway for the most part. So it's like a double-edged sword, man. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. So I don't really see how this ends well for Call of Duty or any other franchise that finds itself in the clutches of Goy Pass at this point. But anyway, guys, yeah, I mean, I don't even really feel like I should assign a number to this game. Just don't fucking play it. Do not play this piece of shit game. Do not even download it in Game Pass and give them the fucking player engagement metric that they love to regurgitate all over social media to hide from the fact that their games are bombing. And this game, for all intents and purposes, is the worst launch in the history of the Call of Duty franchise. Black Ops 6, which again launched day and date in Game Pass, when Game Pass was significantly cheaper per month on top of that, you know, had 3 to 4 times the concurrent player count on Steam that Black Ops 7 had on launch day. That is absolutely fucking abysmal, and Activision and Microsoft have to be freaking the fuck out right now, because if this is a sign of what's to come in the future, they've got to really be regretting dropping that 69 million, billion on Call of Duty, and more specifically Activision Blizzard. But it genuinely does pain me to see the state of this franchise, man. I absolutely fucking love Call of Duty. I enjoy the game so much, and to see this franchise in the state that it's in right now, it's just very, very disheartening, but it's par for the course for video games in the Western market. That's for fucking sure. You have studios that are just basically baiting nostalgia, using a bunch of franchises that were developed by developers that are no longer in the industry, whether they got retired, got pushed out of the studio, fired for being a white straight male, or Me Too'd by some backstabbing bimbo. You know, it doesn't really matter, man. Most of these studios are not even remotely the same as they were back in the glory days of the Xbox 360 era, and, you know, maybe it's time to let go. Maybe that's the true Call of Duty in all of this, is letting go of the past and realizing what you once loved is fucking dead at this point. But yeah, I don't even feel like giving this a fucking number score, bro. It's as low as it can fucking go. So don't play this game. Avoid it like the fucking plague. But if you guys want, let me know your thoughts on this particular game in the comment section below, man. I don't even want to say its name anymore at this point. But yeah, have you played the game that will not be named? You know, what were your thoughts on it? Are you enjoying it? Did you like the multiplayer? Did you like the Yeah, nobody liked the campaign. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts on whatever game it is we're talking about on the channel today. And, you know, maybe, just maybe, we'll talk about another good one. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it here. I would always appreciate it if you guys could leave a like on the video. It does help out my irrelevant-ass channel a bunch, and it does go a long way to keeping me out of the unemployment line. So anyways, if you guys could do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, I do want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video and for all the recent support as well. It really does mean a lot, and you guys are the absolute fucking best. So with that shit said, I will catch you guys next time.